Have you ever stepped off a plane and thought to yourself, why didn't anyone tell me about that? From the coffee in your cup to the dirtiest thing you'll touch on board, there are so many little secrets about flying that most passengers never hear. Stick with me till the end, because once you know these, I promise you lines never look at your seat tray or even your shoes the same way again. And if you're new here, make sure to stay with me until the last tip because that one alone might just save your skin. Let's start with something most people get wrong. That hard slam when the plane hits the runway isn't sloppy flying. In stormy or wet weather, pilots sometimes land harder on purpose. It forces the wheels to grip the runway instead of skidding across water or slush. So the next time you feel your teeth rattle on landing, don't assume the pilot messed up. That rough touchdown might be the very thing that kept you safe. Now think about those reminders to put your tray table up and your seat forward during takeoff and landing. A lot of people roll their eyes, but it's not about politeness. Imagine you need to get out quickly and the seat in front of you is reclined or a tray is sticking out. That's precious seconds wasted in an emergency. Keeping everything upright keeps the path clear and keeps people safe. So when the flight attendant reminds you, it's not nagging. It's survival. Here's a tip that may change what you order on board. The coffee and tea that come out steaming hot don't come from bottled water. They come from onboard tanks, and those tanks aren't always as clean as you'd hope. Tests have found bacteria in them that should never be anywhere near your drink. Even many flight attendants refuse to drink it themselves. If they're skipping it, that's a pretty strong sign. Safer baits are bottled water, juice, or a can of soda. And speaking of soda, ever wonder why it takes forever to get a Coke mid-flight? Cabin pressure messes with carbonation, so when the can is poured, it foams up like crazy. That's why attendants pour it in slow motion. Wait, then pour again. It's not laziness, it's physics. If you're impatient, maybe stick to juice or water and save yourself the fizz flood. Here's one that surprises people. You might think the bathroom is the dirtiest spot on the plane. Actually, it's your tray table. Studies have shown trays are many times dirtier than the toilet flush button. And those seat back pockets in front of you? They're not cleaned between flights, and passengers use them like trash cans for tissues, wrappers, even dirty diapers. So before you set food down, grab a sanitizing wipe. Clean the tray, the armrest, even the buckle. It takes seconds and can save you from a stomachache at 35,000 feet. If you're someone who falls asleep as soon as the engines roar, hold on. Sleeping during takeoff or landing is actually a bad idea. Pressure changes are fastest then, and your ears need help adjusting. Swallowing, yawning, chewing gum all help balance things out, but you can't do that if you're passed out. And remember, most accidents happen in those first and last few minutes of a flight. If you're asleep, you're losing precious seconds if something goes wrong. Stay awake until the plane levels off. Nap once you're cruising. The window seat might look like the perfect nap spot, but think twice before pressing your face against that glass. Hundreds of passengers have leaned there before you, and those windows don't get wiped down often. Sweat, oils, germs, it's all there. If you need to rest your head, use a hoodie or a travel pillow. At least then you're leaning on something clean and yours. Now let's talk about shoes. Kicking them off might feel comfortable, but the carpet beneath your feet is one of the dirtiest places you'll ever relax in. It's seen spilled coffee, germs, and yes, worse. And if you walk barefoot into the lavatory, that liquid on the floor is not always water. If your feet need a break, fine, but keep on socks or slip into lightweight slippers. Comfort is great, athlete's foot is not. And this might sound obvious, but never mess with the emergency slide. People have actually pulled the handle thinking it would get them off the plane faster. It doesn't, it gets them arrested. And it costs the airline thousands to repack the slide. That equipment is only for real emergencies. Hands off unless the crew tells you otherwise. While we're on the subject of footwear, heels and flip-flops might be stylish at the airport, but in an emergency they're a terrible idea. High heels can puncture the escape slide. Flip-flops slip off instantly. If you have to run across hot tarmac or broken glass, you'll regret them. Sturdy closed shoes with grip are your best friend on a plane. They may not win a fashion award, but they'll protect you when it counts. Let's move overhead for a moment. Overhead bins can pop open during turbulence, and heavy bags can come flying out. People have been seriously hurt that way. If your bag is too heavy to lift easily, don't shove it up there. Put it under the seat or ask for help. Or better yet, pack lighter in the first place. Here's one more packing tip. Aerosol sprays and shaving creams don't belong in carry-ons. Cabin pressure can make them burst, and power banks. Those must stay in your hand luggage, never checked. Lithium batteries can catch fire if damaged, and if they're in the cargo hold, no one can stop it. In your carry-on, the crew can deal with it fast. If you want to avoid delays and even turbulence, book an early flight. Delays stack up as the day goes on like falling dominoes, and the morning air is usually calmer. You'll get there sooner and smoother. Finally, let's talk about where you sit. If you hate turbulence, pick a seat over the wing. That's the plane's center of gravity, the most stable part of the aircraft. If you don't mind sitting at the back, you might even get more attention from the crew. They can slip you extra snacks or drinks more easily there than in the front where everything has to look equal. And before you pick any seat, check a site like SeatGuru. It shows you which seats have more legroom, which don't recline, and which are awkwardly close to the bathrooms. A few seconds of research can mean hours of comfort, so there you have it. 15 secrets that make flying safer, cleaner, and way more comfortable. Next time you fly, you'll know things most passengers don't. You'll avoid the germs, pick the better seats, and maybe even look a little smug while you do it. If you found even one of these tips useful, stick around because I've got more travel secrets coming your way. Until then, stay smart, stay safe, and enjoy the journey.